going on, Jerome's back. Take a look at another mock draft. Maurice Jones-Drew, that's right. Former Jacksonville Jaguar great and Oakland Raider great, as well as former All-Pro, Pro Bowl, all the accolades, phenomenal running back back in the day. And when I was a kid growing up and just starting fantasy football, MJD was that dude, man, just getting that work. Pocket Hercules, one of the great nicknames in sports history, by the way. So mock draft 1.0. So you know it's going to be running back heavy. Like he will get after it and put the running backs in there. So we'll see what happens here. And there's a couple of quirks. And the Vikings take Gregory Rousseau yet again. So, no. One, his Jacksonville Jaguars, of course, Trevor Lawrence, no matter what, talking very lonely. Got the coach, got the QB. Life is good. Now, they could take Najee Harris at 1 if they didn't have James Robinson. And if they didn't, I mean, maybe they do. 2, Justin Fields to Jets. Over Zach Wilson, I feel like near consensus it's been Zach Wilson at 2. But remember, Justin Fields has a high-end potential. He does. If he can shore up some of those inconsistencies in terms of pocket awareness, which is a big ask, but his ceiling is as high as pretty much every quarterback in the draft. I really do like Justin Fields. And if Joe Douglas thinks that he's a guy going with the Jets, he's got protection in Becton, he's got a good receiver in Mims, he gets some more help later on. Justin Fields, Broadway, Justin, let's go. 3, so barring them going all in on a quarterback, Zach Wilson might be pretty tempting here. Or if they just pile drive all their picks, give them back to Houston. Hey, Houston, here's your picks back. Now give us your quarterback. They're going to try and build around Tua, see if he's the guy. Getting Jamar Chase here, wide receiver 1. So him on the outside with Parker, and then Gesicki and Preston Williams and Myles Gaskin, and a little bit more help later on. This is a good spot for Jamar Chase. 4. So the Falcons picking up Zach Wilson in the spot. And I've said that the Falcons, if they stick and pick, they should consider a quarterback, because how often are you picking in the top 4? Arthur Smith can have his choice of quarterbacks in this very deep quarterback class. Matt Ryan is already 36. He can't play forever. So no Sackey for Zachy. Wilson can sit behind Ryan for a year. And Arthur Smith, the way that he got the best out of Ryan Tannehill, especially where he used Tannehill's athleticism, not as a running quarterback, but to move the pocket and to find him clear throwing lanes. Like he can do that with Zach Wilson. It's going to be a nice marriage there in Hotlanta. 5, Bengals protecting Burrow no matter what. Penny Sewell, plop him in at left tackle, move Jonah, get rid of Bobby Hart. 6. So it would be tempting to go quarterback here and have them have a competition between Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance or Mac Jones. But Micah Parsons does make sense here. He's already keeping him in state will be a big hit with the fan base. It's going to be a long rebuild for the Eagles. So going BPA makes sense. Maniac man in the middle. Parsons can also rush the passer. You could say wide receiver. You could say offensive line. You could say cornerback. Yes, so the Eagles do have all those needs, but barring a trade down, there's no trades in this mock, but barring a trade down, Parsons does make sense. The Keystone Crusher, nailed it. 7, Lions, Devontae Smith. It would be a little bit tough to pass on Trey Lance if you're Detroit here, because Brad Holmes, new GM. I mean, sure, Jared Goff they traded for him, but they traded for his contract so they could get extra trade capital. But a wide receiver 1. They're going to lose Galladay. They're probably going to lose Marvin Jones as well. So Devontae Smith with Quintez Cephas would be a nice wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 for Jared Goff. 8, Panthers. I mean, under what lucky star is Matt Ruleborn under? You don't have to trade up and you still get Trey Lance. Where if you keep Teddy in the fold, Teddy can start the beginning of the season. Maybe he holds off Trey Lance. And you got Christian McCaffrey. He just restructured, so he'll be back. Maybe you retain Curtis Samuel. You franchise tag Taylor Moton. Row the boat. Plus you got Joe Brady. Let's go. Plus, Trey Lance, I mean, Zach Wilson gets all the love for having the big arm, but Trey Lance might have the straight-up strongest arm in this draft. It is extremely live. So just think about Trey Lance scrambling in the pocket, then dropping a 65-yard dime to Robbie Anderson, going deep. Woo, I like it. 9, Broncos. So they miss out on quarterbacks. They don't take Mac Jones, but they do take cornerback, Caleb Farley, cornerback 1, replacing A.J. Bouye, trying to lift up Vic Fangio's defense. 10, Cowboys. Woo! Quirk 1, Jevon Holland. Where I'm trying to think of the last mock where we saw Jevon Holland in the first round, where I really like Javon Holland. I like him as a hybrid cornerback safety. There's a handful of those guys in this draft, but Holland can cover like the day is long, and the Cowboys do need some help in the secondary. Well, they need help at cornerback and safety. Well, cornerback besides Trevon Diggs. So I guess Holland is both, but I don't know, man. You don't go... you don't go Patrick Surtain, the other Bama cornerback here, and you don't go Trevin Moehrig, who plays in your backyard in Fort Worth at TCU. But I don't know, man. I would rather have Richie Grant than Javon Holland. So 10, that's a little spicy. That's a spicy meatball. 11, Giants, Waddle, makes sense. Deep threat for Danny Dimes. Gettleman gets his guy there. 12. So the Niners, they miss out on the big four quarterbacks. They don't take Mac Jones. Maybe they do run it back with Jimmy G. I could easily see this being the Mac Jones pick. I think that he would do well with Kyle Shanahan. But they're also going to lose Richard Sherman in free agency. So picking up Surtain, that's a great get at this stage of the draft, because you did not expect him to get by Dallas at 10. Plus, if they continue to have a cover 3 heavy scheme, this would be a really perfect pickup for them. 13, Rashawn Slater, no matter what, left tackle, no matter what, protecting Justin Herbert makes sense for the Chargers. 14, Vikings, another mock draft, Greg Rousseau on the D-line, where I like the potential. I like the potential, but it's a big gamble, man. 15.5 sacks. As a redshirt freshman back in 2019, was an opt-out in 2020. D-line, you like the length, but is going to be a rotational guy right away. I don't think he has a true position on the Zimmer defensive line to start. And I would rather pay Aziz, Barmore, Darisaw. I mean, Kyle Pitts is still on board if you're going to go BPA. But if it is Rousseau, I get it. I like it. I trust Andre Patterson. Let's go. 15, how did this happen? How did the Patriots just get Kyle Pitts to fall to them? But barring them getting a quarterback, unless they deal for Jimmy Garoppolo back again, I don't know what's going to happen. How do they pass on Mac Jones in this spot if they're going quarterbackless at this time? I don't see it. 16, Cardinals going to lose Patrick Peterson. J.C. Horn is a phenomenal replacement, and that defense is getting after it. Maybe they hang on to Hassan Riddick, but they get Chandler Jones back. They got J.J. They got Budda Baker and J.C. Horn. That's a nice addition. I like that. 17, Raiders, defensive line, edge rush no matter what. Clelin Ferrell, not so much. Kwity Paye is an absolute physical freak, going to contribute right away in Las Vegas. 18, Dolphins, like we said, Tua's getting a lot of help. He already got Jamar Chase. Now he's getting Najee Harris, the Le'Veon Bell of this draft, where he's got the size. He's got great receiving skills as well. Quarterback's best friend. If Tua can't succeed with Jamar Chase and his former teammate Najee Harris, I mean, he's not going to succeed. So I like what Dolphins are doing here. 19, Mac Jones finally goes. This is a good spot for him. Scott Turner, offensive coordinator. Actually, no, this is a bad spot. Nah, just playing. But he can sit behind Taylor Heineke for a little bit of time. I don't know if Heineke keeps him on the bench long term. But yeah, Mac Jones, he's got Scary Terry. He's got Antonio Gibson behind him. He's got Brandon Scherf on a second franchise tag. So, I mean, there's some pieces there. Plus, they have a really good defensive front seven. 20. So the Bears, everyone forgot about Wyatt Davis. Name the last mock draft that you saw Wyatt Davis in the first round. Everyone sleeps on him because of the knee injury in the national title game, but Wyatt Davis is a bad mofo. And him coming into Chicago, where you could easily see them going wide receiver since they're going to lose. Well, they tagged Allen Robinson. We'll see what happens there. But Wyatt Davis on the offensive line, the Bears O-line was booty last year. Put him in at right guard, his natural position, and the interior of the Bears offensive line will be James Daniels and Cody Whitehair and Wyatt Davis. That's a nice trio. I really like that. 21, Colts. So they need some tackle help going Elijah Vera Tucker here. Now, they could go a different couple directions here, where they could play AVT at tackle, which I wouldn't be a fan of, but what are you going to do? Put him in at left guard and then move Quentin Nelson out to left tackle? You could, but also you're going to pay Quentin Nelson. So now you're going to pay Quentin Nelson not only as the highest paid guard in NFL history, but as a left tackle. Good luck. Best of luck. Or they could play him at the other guard spot, or you could play AVT, a right tackle, move Braden Smith to left tackle. Either way, I mean, would it have been easier just to take a tackle like Jalen Mayfield or Tevin Jenkins or Sam Cosmi? Maybe, but I don't know. AVT slid a little bit, but of course MJD went to UCLA, so maybe he's against the USC guy. I don't know. 22. Titans need edge. Jalen Phillips, edge. There you go. 23, the Jets. Justin Fields getting some help, like we alluded to. Fields and Travis Etienne. Woo, I like it. Nice combo. Plus, you throw in Denzel Mims and Mekhi Becton. Over the last 2 drafts, that's 4 nice cornerstone pieces of the offense, including the offensive triplets for the gangrene. 24. The Steelers taking Jalen Mayfield because they need some offensive line help. Villanueva's leaving in free agency. Marquise Pouncey retired. Mayfield, maybe you start him at left tackle. Maybe you keep him at right tackle, but redshirt sophomore, still young, still full of potential. Nice little get for the Steelers. 25. Now, if the Jaguars didn't have James Robinson, MJD was 1,000% going to go running back. And I bet you he's kind of upset that he couldn't go, Javonte Williams in this spot. But Christian Barmore on that D-line, you already have a force on offense in Lawrence. Now you get a force on defense. Plus, if Barmore grows to 70% of his college football playoff potential, wow. 26. Browns defense going Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, which makes sense if you look at what the Bengals are bringing in skill-wise, if you look at Mark Andrews and the Ravens. So a guy that can play in base but can cover like a safety and hits like a friggin' linebacker. I mean, that's greatly going to benefit you, especially if they do, say get Trey Hendrickson in free agency to replace Adrian Claiborne, put him opposite of Myles Garrett. Go ahead. 27, Ravens. Wide receiver. Terrace Marshall Jr., big-bodied ex-receiver, showed what he's able to do by himself after Chase opted out and Justin Franklin Jefferson was being the offensive rookie of the year. Robbed. Could be Rashad Bateman in this spot as well, but just a big-bodied outside the number receiver for Lamar Jackson. 28. So the Saints taking Trevin Moehrig in this spot. Kind of surprising since they tagged Marcus Williams, but remember, that is only for a year, and the Saints aren't going to escape cap hill next year, so he still might depart. But Moehrig is a nice ball hawk on the back end of that defense. I do like Trevor Moehrig a lot. 29, Packers, Kadarius Toney. Hate it. Burn it with kerosene and send it straight to hell. No. So I'm trying to think of players I do not want to see go to the Packers. Kadarius Toney might be 1-1. Bateman is up there. Zaven Collins is up there. Yeah, just don't do it. Please don't do it. 30, so Javonte Williams, third running back in the first round, only MJD, baby. And even though the Bills have Zach Moss, if he can stay healthy, as well as Devin Singletary, meh. So I sort of understand it. And you saw what happened to them in the playoffs, seeing those big-bodied running backs. Javonte Williams will get after it. He is a power running back and would actually be a nice duo with Zach Moss if he can stay healthy, Moss being that great receiver. So, Sure. 31, Chiefs. Yeah. Super Bowl. Yeah. Offensive line. Yes, they do get Fisher back and the doctor's coming back off of opt-out and Mitchell Schwartz, TBD. But just getting Tevin Jenkins in. He can play right tackle. He can play guard. He can do all the things. 32, Bucks taking Zaven Collins, the linebacker replacing Levante David, who might leave in free agency. I think that Levante stays. But could you imagine Zaven Collins with Devin White? Like, how disgusting is that? That is gross. That is really, really gross. Dude still left on board, so you got Kyle Trask, quarterback, where I thought that maybe he could have squeezed in back in the first round, but not so much. Rondale Moore, Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, no go. Of course, with more running backs, more wide receivers potentially could fall out. No Freiermuth, offensive line. Leatherwood, no Darrisaw. No Christian Darrisaw, which is just inexcusable. No. Cosme Dickerson, no go. Boogie Basham, away. Aziz didn't go in the first round. Joseph Asai, Onwuzurike, Nixon, Bolton, Newsom. Newsom didn't go. Tyson Campbell didn't go. Asante Samuel, Stokes, sure. But, yeah. I don't know. I understand that it is MJD's thing, have multiple running backs go. But, of course, everyone gets a new shiny toy. Of course, everything is changed up. Of course, Kyle Pitts falls, but the Vikings still take Rousseau. I don't know. This is starting to approach 2020. Vikings 25 overall, taking Yetur Gross-Matos, AJ Epinesa. But, but your thoughts, MJD's Mock Draft 1.0, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support this work, put a summon in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.